Okay, so the HDB market is in a mess lah. So basically this thing doesn't happen in the private market. Okay, later I'll explain to you why. Okay, so when the government right twitch this thing called valuation to be done by buyer. Okay, so just for many of the HDB buyer and sellers info, I think those sellers they know lah, if they bought like before I think 2013 or 2014, when they buy property last time, the seller already do a valuation. Okay, so when the seller do a valuation, they already know how much is the valuation. They already got a valuation report. That's for last time. Okay, then buyer come and buy, the seller will say, oh, value plus how much COV, value plus how much COV. COV equals to cash over value. So that's how cash over value came about. Then the government say, hey, no lah, this is wrong. If you all keep using cash over value, then there will always be cash over value. There will never be one time where people sell at value or below value. Okay, so the government say, hey, this is going to push market price up. So what happened is they changed the whole system. They put the buyer to do the valuation. When buyer do valuation, you have to understand is that you already agree with price. So buyer, seller agree a price. Then buyer pays the deposit, $1 to $1,000, which nobody will go and take $1 from you, or even $200-300 people also won't take. Later I'll explain why. So people agree with the price, then the buyer go and do the value. What happened now is that all the buyers in the market do not know the value. And now the market for HDB is full of direct buyers. Okay, direct buyers, okay, I'm not saying that you are no good. Please do not misunderstand me. I'm trying to tell you why the seller and the seller agent is avoiding direct buyer, and it's because of the problems that direct buyer are creating in this HDB marketplace. Okay, what happened is in the market now, actually there is a lot of direct buyers. There is lesser buyers with agent. Okay, so why do I say that? Okay, first of all, we have to understand that the percentage of a buyer with agent okay, is low. Means that maybe out of 5 buyers that come, there's only 2 with agent. And to be frank, normally those with agent, they are more serious. Okay, because the agent wouldn't waste their time on buyers that is not serious and then put in effort and cannot earn the money. Okay, so that's the mentality. I'm not saying that this is 100% correct, meaning that all agents are very smart. They wouldn't serve buyers that are not serious. Definitely there is some agent that serve buyer that's not serious lah, you know, but the percentage is there. But you see, direct buyers, okay, I share with you a few scenarios. When we ask you, have you sold your place? You say you haven't. So you haven't sold your place, why are you trying to buy? You know, and if you need that money, okay, then you cannot buy ma. You know, so you are not the buyer that we're looking for. Second, I ask you if you have done your intent to buy. You know, the scenario is you always think that you have to do intent to buy. You have to like buy already, then do intent to buy, or already have a house that you're interested in, do intent to buy. But do you know that intent to buy is actually a checklist that the government wants to educate the direct buyers or even normal buyers with agent on what they should do? So if you read the intent to buy do state that you need to have a HLE done before you start viewing or before you pay option to a unit. So I got scenarios whereby some of the agents, they sell the unit to direct buyers. When they ask the direct buyer, oh, have you done this, the direct buyer say, yeah. Then in the end, the direct buyer only do the intent to buy and the HLE after HLE is HDB loan, okay? HDB loan eligibility letter or something. So they only do the intent to buy and the HLE only when they agree with a price. So they didn't do the HLE before they option the place. So when this case was brought to HDB, they wanted to submit the case cannot be submitted. So this is a big problem. Why? Because HDB ruling is that the buyer is supposed to do their intent to buy, get their HLE before they option their place. Not option the place, pay 1,000, then go and do your HLE. So this is the big problem, you know. Direct buyers, they are, first of all, they are creating a lot of procedure problem. They do not understand. And it's not that we don't want to, seller don't want to show you the place or seller agent don't want to show you the place. We ask them, how much? Have you done your loan check? No. But they say, oh, our budget is 500,000. The problem is why is your budget 500,000 when you never do your loan check? You don't know your loan amount, but you know your budget. Even we agents cannot calculate it like that. Why you can? You know? And the other problem is because just now at the start of the whole video, I told you about when to do the value and what did the government change. You know, last time seller do value, now buyer do value. So a lot of buyer they come to a unit thinking that they can afford the unit. And also because they're not represented by an agent, they represent themselves, then they must have the ability to analyze what is the valuation. And I can tell you this thing about what is the valuation is a very, very difficult question. Okay? Even agents are struggling with this question. So this problem that has been created in 2013, 2014 by HDB because they changed the whole rule, it is a good problem because the problem caused the property price in the HDB market to be regulated and then it corrects itself eventually. But this is the first time since 2013, 2014 that prices are going so high that valuation is not able to match. So when valuation is not able to match, right, the buyer's question is, today if I buy a house at 500,000, 600,000, will the value be 500,000 or 600,000, or will there be cash over value? If you have an agent, the buyer agent will explain to you this and do the calculation. Because you see buyers, if you are taking a bank loan, there's still a 5% cash down payment plus COV. 5% cash down payment is not including COV. So if you pay a 5% cash down payment and you plus COV, these two amounts, they are not the same. So if the unit has 25,000 COV and you buy it at like 500,000, let's say 525,000, but the value came out 500,000, there is a total of 50,000 cash you have to pay. So this is the thing that the direct buyers do not understand. Okay, why do I say this? Because actually a lot of agents, a lot of sellers are meeting with this problem. Direct buyers come offer like they can afford, you know, offer like they know everything, offer like they have the money whatsoever, and when they offer, when you tell them that the COV is maybe about 10-20,000, you know, sometimes for me you know, I'm trying to be nice, so I will tell the buyer, give indication, because we don't want to waste our time. We don't want to sell to a buyer and then end up we already know that the cash portion, let's say including the COV and 5% down payment, is about 50,000, but the buyer only has 40,000. We know that this deal will burst. Okay? So we don't want to go through with it, but not all agents are like that. Not all agents are able to analyze how much is the valuation. So when the problem is when these buyers, direct buyers, they come and purchase the unit without knowing how much is the COV, after they pay the deposit of $1,000, okay, 21 days later they will decide not to buy because the COV is too high. And this wastes the seller's time. The seller wasted 21 days and restart the sale again. This is a big problem for the seller. You basically waste close to a month of planning and time. So I think a lot of HDB sellers are experiencing this, where direct buyers back out or buyers back out because they estimated the COV wrongly or they do not understand the COV portion. And I still get a lot of direct buyers telling me that, I will offer 500,000. You know, then I told them there's a COV. They say, oh no, I can only offer 500,000 because if the COV comes up to be 20,000, then I have to pay 520. Huh? It's not like that, guys. When you offer a price 500,000 is the selling price. The valuation come out 480, then your COV is 20,000. It doesn't have a COV on top of your selling price, guys. So you see, this is like lack of understanding plus but yet direct buyers, they don't want to engage the agent. So this is the problem in the market, you know. There is a lot of people walking in to view house without knowing their loan, without knowing their financial calculation, without knowing their COV. The biggest problem now is they don't know their COV. if they don't know how much is the COV, how are you going to estimate how much to buy? You know, I tell you the most amazing part, if we have buyers going around offering 3 to 4 units at a time, paying $1,000 to every unit to find out who got no COV. Means let's say it come out, he offer 4 unit got 1 unit no COV, 3 unit got COV, then he won't buy already. He only buy that 1 unit, but he wastes 3 unit time. And actually $1,000 is no big deal for a 500, 600, 700,000 HDB flat . But you see, this is the government's ruling. Why this don't happen in private? Because people don't pay $1,000 option fee. People pay 1%. So they take their purchase more seriously. They make sure they don't burn their purchase. Because today, if you offer 1 mil, you have to pay 10,000. You offer 1.5 mil, you are paying 15,000 option fee. But today you offer a 800,000 or a 1 mil HDB flat, you still pay 1,000 option fee. So this is creating a lot of chaos in the market. I don't know whether this is a good problem or a bad problem, but sellers and sellers agents are doing their best to qualify buyers now. It's getting worse and worse because prices are going up higher and higher. Some units managed to match the next highest price, some unit didn't. Some came out with COV 50,000, 80,000, 30,000. If it comes out with the amount that the buyer is not ready to pay, then you just wasted the seller's 21 days, which is close to a month. So this thing seriously is not happening in the private market, because I can tell you that the private market, we can check value beforehand. Meaning that, let's say today my buyer is going to offer this unit at, let's say, 1.5 million. I can check with bankers and see, hey, your bank can match or not, your bank can match. I check with different banks and see who can match value, you know. But this is not happening in the HDB market. So please, I don't know whether I should be telling the direct buyer that they should do a better job or what, but since you are not getting an agent, but you have to really respect the seller. It's not nice on the seller's part because the seller sell already, they have to buy. So when they sell to you, they think that they can proceed to look for their house, and they realize that you are not buying because you underestimated the COV. I think this is a big problem. And some buyers, if you go around offering $1,000 to a few units, it's really bad you know. I don't know whether is it you are too rich, but I feel that the sincerity and the respect when you're buying a house, like you go into a contract, you know, you cannot say that this is the government's fault, because the government never say that you cannot pay a few $1,000 to a few units. But the government also didn't encourage you to do it, you know. So if you really want to buy a house, be more serious, you know, get an agent, estimate the valuation properly, purchase the house, have a bit of sincerity you know. When we deal with property buying and selling, we always respect the buyer and seller. The buyer respect the seller, the seller respect the buyer. Both of them come into a sale purchase agreement with respect and sincerity, that I really like your house and I'm sincere in selling, so that everyone transact happily. I think that's the most important part of a big ticket transaction. Okay, so that's it for today's video. Hit the like button and see you next episode. And I really hope this bullshit will end soon, because this is big problem for sellers in the market, and it takes a lot of effort for agents to be qualifying direct buyers. And it's like out of 10 calls every day, right, we are qualifying more than 50% of the calls, and 50% of the calls are actually not eligible buyers. They and some is like, oh, the HDB loan letter is going to expire, yet they are there's a lot Anyway, I will touch on this topic more. Okay, but HDB is not so direct. Really, HDB is not so direct. There's a lot of rules and regulations, there's a lot of timing, there's a lot of deadlines, expiry date, timeline, everything. Okay, please do your steps. Go and do your intent to buy, do your loan. That's the basic. Okay, and understand the portion about COV. If you don't understand, go and watch my video and whatsoever Okay, if not, you please engage me. Don't waste your time. Okay, hit the like button, subscribe button. See you in the next episode, and bye bye.